What's going on, guys, and welcome to round number 10 of my back to front challenge on F1 2015. This is the Hungarian Grand Prix. This race pretty much signals the halfway point in the championship. We'll have 9 races to go after this round, so we really need to start making up some ground in the championship battle. We're currently 35 points behind Nico Rosberg, who is on pole once again. We're starting from last as per usual with no setup on the car, trying to see how far up the grid we can get. Although in fact for this race, Roberto Merri in the Manor has got a grid penalty, which means that we'll actually be starting from 19th place rather than 20th. So we've pretty much gained a position automatically off the start line. Although that's going to make things a little bit difficult for us off the start, because we're going to be on the outside and I'd preferably like to get to the inside for turn 1. We're going to be starting on the prime tyres as per usual and change onto the options later for a fast stint towards the end of the race. So without further ado, let's get to the grid here in the Hungarian Grand Prix, starting in P19, and the lights have gone out and away we go. And it seems like a fairly average start, trying to get to the inside ahead of Merri, and we've managed to do that. And we're going to look up the inside of Stevens, and we've outbroken the 2 McLarens as well and nearly running into the back of Grosjean in the Lotus. We're up into 15th off the start line. It's 3 wide ahead of us. The Toro Rosso, the Sauber and the Lotus that was Grosjean, and we've got past all 3 cars and we're up into 12th place now, and we've got the 2 Force Indias battling ahead of us into the fast left-hander, and we've given Hulkenberg a knock, and we've now gone around the outside of him, and we're looking out around the outside of a few more cars, and they're going really slowly there. Looking up ahead, I think I can see a Williams and is that a Ferrari going side by side, so they're just slowing everyone up behind them as Perez is still battling with us over 10th place, but we've got ahead of him now into 10th place, and we'll be looking at Felipe Nasr next up as we move slightly further ahead into lap 1. We're going to make a move up the inside of Nasr and Sainz and Kvyat as well. That's 3 moves, 3 cars overtaken in 1 corner. And that's us up into P7 at the end of lap 1, and you can see here there's a tussle between Vettel, Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo as well, slightly further ahead. As we cut to the start of lap 3, no DRS yet, but we're in the slipstream of Vettel, although he's pulled away slightly because he had slipstream as well, but we've outbroken him into turn 1. So that's P6. Next up is Valtteri Bottas in his Williams, and now we're on to lap 4. Coming towards the end of the second sector, and Bottas has run wide, so we're going to have a move up the inside now into 5th place. Just 4 laps into this Grand Prix, and next up is Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull. You'd expect the Red Bull to be quite fast around here. It's quite a tight track where downforce is particularly important, and we're right on the back of him now on lap 5, maybe looking up the inside into the second to last corner, but we've backed out of that move. And if we follow him through this final corner, we should have DRS going down into turn 1, and also with the Mercedes powered car as opposed to the Renault engine that Ricciardo's got, this should be a relatively simple move now as we outbrake him into turn 1. That's us into 3rd place in fact, so it looks like someone up front has already pitted. That's an early stop, lap 6. It might have been Rosberg, my teammate. We cut ahead now to lap 7, the end of lap 7, and we've got DRS on Massa now, and it's Raikkonen who has just pitted, so this is now a battle for the lead of the race out on track, and we've gone up the inside of Massa and we are in the lead. But if that was Raikkonen pitting, that means that Rosberg was the one who pitted really early on, lap 6. He's got a long stint on the prime tyres to get through, and this is lap 10 now. We can see that Raikkonen is showing up in 3rd place as Perez has pitted, and now Kvyat's pitted as well, so Raikkonen is effectively leading this Grand Prix. Rosberg is not leading the race even though he was in pole position, so that's a big surprise. And we're coming into the pits now at the end of lap 10. I'm just looking on the mini-map to see if I can see where Raikkonen is. You can see him now just coming through the second to last corner, so I think he's going to be comfortably out ahead of us. Once we've made our pit stop, we're going to move on to the options here, and that's not a bad stop. And we're just going to see now Raikkonen coming through to retake the lead, and Rosberg is a few seconds back from him, so we're going to be at least third. And in fact, it looks like we all slot back in to third place. We've got Massa still behind us as we've run a bit wide there coming out of the pit lane into turn 1. But now we've got the better tyres, and you'll see here that I put it up into rich mixture as well, the fuel. So we are going to be full out for the rest of this race, trying to close down on Rosberg and Raikkonen. And you can see at the end of lap 12, we've got DRS on Nico Rosberg. We've caught him up, and we've set a fastest lap as well. And we're in the slipstream. Will we maybe have a look into turn 1? We've broken very late indeed and almost lost the back end and made contact with our teammate. We've got DRS again, but I don't think this move's going to be possible into this left-hander. We're better off just staying behind him for now. We've got so much more grip. You can see how much we closed up through that corner. And coming up the hill now, we're in the slipstream. We might have a look into the fast left-hander here, and we've done it. That's second place. We're ahead of our teammate Rosberg. That's crucial for the championship because we really need to start making up the ground on him. And a race win is definitely on here. We haven't won a race since the Malaysian Grand Prix. That was the second round. This is 8 races later, and this is our best chance since then of taking the win. We've closed up on Raikkonen. This is the end of lap 15. We've taken a slightly wider entrance into the final corner to get as good a run as possible coming down the pit straight. And we've got DRS, we've got slipstream. This is going to be an easy move for the lead, and we've done it. We're through. Lap 16 out of 18. We've got the lead in the Hungarian Grand Prix, and we've got some more DRS to pull away from Raikkonen, although we're getting wheel spin. But that's the lead of this race. And with Rosberg in third, we're going to be able to make up a good amount of points on our teammate in the championship. We're just coming through the final corners now of the Hungarian Grand Prix into the last right-hander, and we can just take it easy from here because we are going to take the checkered flag and win the Hungarian Grand Prix, and the comeback is well and truly on in this championship.